You think you're living your own life, making your own choices, deciding what to eat, who to spend time with, how to feel about yourself. But what if someone else has been quietly pulling the strings this whole time, and you never even noticed? Today we're exposing the 7 signs that someone is secretly controlling you. And fair warning, some of these are going to hit closer to home than you expect. Sign number 1. They make you doubt your own memory and perception. This is called gaslighting, and it is one of the most powerful control tools in existence. A controlling person doesn't just argue with you, they rewrite history. You remember a conversation clearly. They tell you it never happened. You felt hurt by something they said. They tell you you're too sensitive, that you misheard, that you're imagining things. Over time, you stop trusting your own mind. And that's exactly what they want. Because a person who doubts their own reality has no choice but to rely on someone else to define it for them. The controller steps in and becomes your anchor, your source of truth. You start running your memories past them before you trust them. You second-guess your instincts on a daily basis. You think it's anxiety or a bad memory. But what's really happening is that your internal compass has been systematically dismantled. If you constantly feel confused about what really happened in your own life, pay attention to who's always there telling you that your version is wrong. Sign number 2. They control the information you have access to. Knowledge is power, and a controller knows this better than anyone. They subtly manage what you know. Maybe they discourage you from spending time with certain people, not with an outright ban, but with quiet comments. I don't know why you trust her. He's always been a bad influence on you. They create wedges between you and the people who might give you an outside perspective. They might downplay news that affects you, keep you out of financial discussions, or frame your world in a way that makes them seem essential and everything outside them seem dangerous or unreliable. They become your primary filter for reality. In relationships, this looks like a partner who always has an opinion about your friendships. In workplaces, it looks like a boss who keeps you in the dark and positions themselves as the gatekeeper of all important information. You don't realize you're operating with a limited, curated view of your world. And that limited view always happens to center on the controller. Sign number 3. Your emotions are constantly managed and redirected. Healthy people in your life let you feel what you feel. Controlling people cannot afford to do that. Your emotions are a threat to their system. When you're angry at them, they don't address the issue. They make you feel guilty for being angry. When you're sad, they minimize it, or turn the conversation to their own suffering. When you're happy and independent, they introduce a new problem that pulls your attention back to them. This is called emotional redirection. The goal is to keep you in a state of low-grade confusion and emotional dependency. You're never quite settled, never quite sure if your feelings are valid, and always somehow focused back on managing the relationship with the controller rather than managing your own life. Notice how often your emotional conversations with this person end with you comforting them, apologizing to them, or feeling worse about yourself than when the conversation started. Sign number 4. They use guilt and obligation as leverage. Controllers are masters of the debt economy. They remind you of everything they've done for you. They keep a mental ledger of favors, sacrifices, and suffering, and they cash it in whenever you try to assert yourself. After everything I've done for you, I gave up so much for this. I just thought you cared about me. This isn't someone expressing genuine hurt. This is a calculated withdrawal from an emotional bank account they've been quietly building for months or years. Real love and genuine friendship don't come with a running tab. When you feel that your sense of freedom is contingent on making someone else feel okay about your choices, that is control. It doesn't look like a cage. It looks like loyalty. It looks like gratitude. But the moment you try to live differently, the debt gets called in. Stay with me, because the next 3 signs are where it gets even darker. And if any of these describe your life right now, what I'm about to say could genuinely change everything for you. Sign number 5. Your self-esteem has quietly been eroded. This one is slow, deliberate, almost invisible. A controlling person cannot afford for you to feel good about yourself, because confident people set limits, trust themselves, and leave bad situations. So the controller works quietly to make you smaller. It doesn't always come through insults. Often it comes through comparison. My ex never complained about this. Other people managed to handle this fine. I just thought you were stronger than that. It comes through jokes at your expense, casual dismissals of your achievements, and moments where your excitement gets quietly deflated. And here's the brutal part. You often don't trace the erosion back to them. You think you've just become less confident over time. You think you used to be bolder, happier, more certain of yourself. And you chalk it up to stress or age or circumstance. But look at the timeline. Look at when it started. Was it around the same time this person entered your life or your inner circle? Sign number 6. They punish you with silence, absence, or withdrawal. This is covert emotional punishment, and it is devastatingly effective. You say something they don't like, or you push back, or you spend time away from them, and suddenly they go cold. No explanation, no conversation, just a wall. And here's what happens inside you. You start to panic. You replay the situation looking for what you did wrong. You reach out. You apologize, even if you don't fully know what you're apologizing for. You soften your position. You go back to them. And just like that, you've been trained. You've learned that disagreeing, asserting yourself, or pulling away leads to pain. And that compliance and accommodation lead to warmth and safety. This is a conditioning cycle. It's the same principle used in behavioral psychology to shape animal behavior. And it works on humans too. Every time you capitulate to end the silence, you reinforce the system. You teach them that this tool works on you, and they will keep using it. Sign number 7. You feel like you need their permission to be yourself. This is the end stage. And if you're here, it's important that you hear this clearly. You have started to live inside their expectations of you. You filter what you say before you say it. You check their mood before you make decisions. You dress differently, speak differently, edit your personality depending on how they seem to be feeling that day. You don't pursue things you want because you already know they won't be received well. You've internalized their voice so completely that the control no longer even needs to be applied from the outside. You enforce it on yourself. You've become the gatekeeper of your own cage. This is the final goal of every controlling relationship. They don't need to watch you anymore. You watch yourself for them. So what do you do with this information? First, you name what's happening. Covert control is powerful precisely because it lives in the shadows. Naming it brings it into the light. Second, start rebuilding your connection to your own instincts. Journal. Talk to people outside the relationship. Start noticing what you feel before you decide how you're supposed to feel. Third, understand that this isn't about you being weak. The most empathetic, intelligent, and capable people in the world get caught in these patterns, because controllers specifically seek out people with depth and emotional intelligence. Your sensitivity isn't a flaw they exploited. It's a strength they tried to weaponize. And you can take it back. You were never broken. You were redirected. And now you know exactly where to start.